Welcome. You made it. You are here. This is going to be an incredible experience together. What I have for you over this 3-part training is codes to unlock your own formula to growing your yoga business. This is going to be a powerful experience. It is going to perhaps challenge you in new ways that you haven't been challenged before. It is going to open new doors in your life that maybe haven't been opened before. And I'm so excited to take you on this journey because you are at the edge right now. Because you are here, because you're about to dive into this information, you're right at the sweet spot. This is the edge where things start to change. There's something about this title that pulled you in, a 1K client. That might be really scary, really exciting, scary and exciting at the same time. And there's a reason why you're being pulled to this. It's because you are ready to up level. You are ready to not only put food on the table, but to have the robust bank account, to travel more, to pay for the things that you want to do, to call in the abundance that you're ready to receive. So there's part of you that is going to feel resistance through this process. You're going to think, oh my gosh, I don't need a niche. This seems intense to create a signature offer. This level of leadership and being able to receive $1,000 per person can feel really intense. But because you're here, there's part of your soul that knows that you're ready for this journey. There's part of you that is like lit up at the fact that you are about to dive into this next level of yourself. So over this next 3-part training, I want you to treat yourself like the goddess that you are. And if you've just opened this up and you're on your cell phone and maybe you're, doing something or multitasking around the house, take a moment, close it down, and go into a space that's going to be uninterrupted for the next couple of hours. And what you're going to dive into here has the potential of being so potent and so powerful in your life that if you really soak it in and you take action on what I'm about to tell you, you will start to see those 1K clients. I can assure you this because this has been part of my journey. I have been a business coach for the last 4.5 years. I have coached and mentored women just like yourselves that are right on the edge of this next level piece of their lives. And it is incredible to watch the metamorphosis that happens from going into the cocoon and kind of being this mushy new beginning to eventually bringing it together so that you form into a butterfly. And I know it can sound a little cliche about, metamorphosis and doing all the things, but it's true. You are at a point right now where you're ready to scale. You're ready to move to this next level. Perhaps you've been teaching the $15 classes. Perhaps you've been resorting to Zoom classes in this time period that we're in. Perhaps you're just sick of exchanging your time for money. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned in this journey of entrepreneurship is that money is like oxygen. Money is always available and you can always create more of it. It is like oxygen. It's the oxygen that we breathe. We can create more, but time, we cannot. We cannot create more of time, and we do not know the amount of time that we're here on this planet. So it is my mission in this time that we are in that you get the most out of this experience. Right now, this is a free training. This value of this training is at least $1,000, and it will be in the future when I bring it up and it's a paid offer. So for right now, you're getting $1,000 worth of knowledge of someone who's been where you're going, of someone who can share with you exactly how to do this process in your way. So I'm going to share with you the moments that you're going to have a light bulb moment. You're going to have an aha. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. And I hope that it lands for you. And I hope that this process opens the door for you, because that's just it. We don't know how much time we have. But money, on the other hand, is going to be like pure oxygen. And you're going to be able to breathe it in a new way that you haven't been able to up until this point. So if you're just meeting me for the first time, maybe we've been chatting back and forth, or we've been connected on social media, My name is Shauna. And like I said, I've been a business coach for the last 4.5 years at the date of this recording. And this is my mission on this planet, is to create more wealthy women. And the reason why I'm helping yoga teachers is because I saw this huge gap in the industry. And I know you're feeling it. I know you can feel this gap of wanting to serve and lead with your heart and help as many people as you can in the time that you're here, but the income simply isn't there. Maybe you've tried courses or membership sites or ebooks or $15 classes or Zoom classes or in person, you name it. Maybe you've done retreats and you've only broken even on the amount of your expenses that were going out to the time that it took to put everything together. I've been there too. I know exactly what it feels like. My business started with the Chakra ebook, and I poured my heart and soul into it. And I think I made around $60 on it. And I had a moment, and it was such a great lesson of, oh my gosh, I can do this. It was the greatest lesson of entrepreneur spirit, of grit, of determination. And when I created it and put it out there into the world, and some friends and family purchased it, I'm sure they felt bad for me because I was like, oh, here's this thing. And they'd seen me working on it for 3 months, and I put it out there, and a couple people purchased. I think I was able to pay for dinner one night. That felt really good. What it taught me is that this is about an evolution. Entrepreneurship and growing your business, because you're the brand, you are the thing that people are purchasing, is going to take time. And when you evolve yourself, just like you're going to evolve yourself in this 3-part training, when you evolve yourself, there is a natural magnetism that happens to you and your energy that makes people go, I can't put my finger on it, but I love what this gal is talking about. I love her energy. I love what she's sharing. Everything she's sharing is like speaking to me. And I'm going to share with you exactly how you can do that. So it's important to, maybe you have a hat. I do this thing where whenever I put a hat on, this is my signal to the universe that I am in teacher mode. I'm in boss mode. This is the CEO that comes out. So when you're going through this process of growing your business, maybe you have a little trigger too that you can do and signal to the universe when you're ready to go all in. When you're like, all right, I'm doing this thing. I'm taking the aligned action. I'm taking the steps. That is when your leadership is going to come through. So maybe you develop some sort of trigger to the universe on, hey, I'm diving in and I'm about to teach. So we're here. We're here. You're here. Take a moment right now, wherever you are. Maybe maybe you're listening to this on your cell phone and you might be passively kind of like, like what, come on, get to the good stuff, right? Here's what I want you to do. And I really want you to settle into this. As women in business, it's so important that we listen to our energy, that we listen to how we feel, and we put ourselves in high vibe locations. So I'm in my office right now. I've got crystals all around here. I have got a candle lit next to me, and it smells delicious in here. It's like, how much more high vibe can we get? I've got my favorite little tonic sitting next to me too, if I need to take a sip of that. So I encourage you right now, create a high vibe location. This could be somewhere in your house. Just get a candle. Maybe you got some fresh flowers outside that you can pull, but make it an experience. When we make things an experience, we lock in the knowledge that we're learning. We lock it in. It's so much easier when we create a beautiful space. It's like we drop into the space and it feels so powerful. So without further ado, grab a notebook and pen, get into that high vibe spot, pause me if you need to, and let's get started. All right, if you see me looking up at any point, it's because I've got some notes above me, and that's just where I'm looking. So let's get started on this. We are going to get started. We are going to dive into your niche. Let's get this one right out of the way, because this is probably the most challenging piece for a yoga teacher, when they're like, how do I develop a niche when I have been programmed and conditioned that it is for everyone? Yes, yoga is for everyone. And by all the yoga teachers that are out there, we are serving everyone. We are able to serve everyone because we are a collective of people. But what I promise you is that you have a specialty, you have a zone, you have something locked within inside of you that is uniquely your own way of teaching. And by being here today, I want to pull that piece out of you. And I want you to really look at it and go, holy moly, that's exactly what it is. That is what I am meant to do here. So I really want you to self-address this question right now. You are a yoga teacher. You've gone through many hours to become a certified yoga teacher. I want you to think about your yoga teacher plus. What part of you is like a coach? Maybe it's mindset. Maybe it's body or wellness or health. Maybe it is insert whatever that could possibly look like. What type of coach / mentor are you? And this is just to get the ball rolling, because what happens is it's not just teaching yoga. Yoga can be the vehicle that helps people get to their destination, but it's what's happening inside the vehicle that you are really the expert at. So let's say we're taking a road trip together and we're sitting side by side in a vehicle, and you're a yoga teacher, right? But I have a lot of questions about mindset. Maybe I've, been struggling with anxiety or stress or fear or ego was coming up a lot in my life, and I'm ready to take this next step. Well, you just so happen to be this stellar mindset coach. And in this conversation in our car ride, you're able to give me little nuggets along the way that are actually helping make me move forward. So right now, I want you to write, I am a yoga teacher and a plus underneath blank coach. What type of coach are you? This could be spiritual coach too. It doesn't necessarily have to be tangible. It can be intangible. So if you're working with someone on their mindset, just really start to peel open this onion with me on what this could potentially look like, you in a coaching role and holding someone in their highest self, to their highest regard, to run through their personal finish lines. This is going to make so much more sense when we dive in, but I want to give you that first little nugget in the beginning. So in order for us to move forward through this process, we've got to debunk some myths that are happening in the yoga industry right now. And it's really unfortunate that this is still happening. And every once in a while I see it and it just makes my skin crawl, because I know how hard you're working and I know how much effort this takes when you are applying yourself in this way in your business and not seeing the results. So first and foremost, we're going to take a look at, we've got 5 of them here. So I'm going to run through them with you, is paying for ads, paying for Facebook or Instagram ads. Have you been there? I've sure been there too. But paying for ads on something that you don't have proof of concept yet, meaning you don't have people running through your program, people knocking at your door, people knowing exactly what it is that you have to offer. If we jump to paying for ads, and if we jump to paying for Instagram or Facebook ads, what happens is we're missing the sweet spot. We're missing our chance to create a real relationship with another human on social media. And you might be thinking, yeah, but I want to just pay to have followers. I want to pay to have people go through my program. This is an artificial way, unfortunately, of doing marketing. And what we're missing is an absolute connection with someone that could have a profound experience with you and invest at a minimum of $1,000. So unfortunately, if we jump to ads too quickly, we're losing money because we aren't creating a relationship. We're trying to look for more vanity matrix than anything. And vanity meaning we're just looking for numbers on Instagram or Facebook or people in our program, but we're losing a connection with them. We're losing an actual relationship with them. It's great to use Facebook ads once you have proof of concept. And that's really a 2.0 conversation. And you and I can talk about that into the future once you have your signature program. So let's look at number 2. You might have a desire to create a digital course. Raise your hand if you've been there. I feel you out there if you've done this before too. You're like, I just want to make a $250 course. People can buy it. And I want to live my life of freedom. I don't want to have to be all over, and just let me make the course, let me make the thing and just put it out there into the world. Now that's a beautiful place to be, right? That's a awesome place to start in your business, to say, I desire the freedom and I'm going to create the program and it's going to help people. But do you know without a shadow of a doubt that this program is what people want? If you've launched before and you've only had 1-2 people sign up, maybe you've had a goose egg of 0. The reason why that happens is because there isn't desire around it yet. there can be a couple of tweaks and knowing your audience and knowing your community. But if there isn't people signing up, unfortunately, we haven't hit the target yet. And so $250 is not a lot of money to put their skin in the game. So the third one here is $15 Zoom classes. This is very popular right now among yoga teachers because a lot of people are having to move into their offices and the world is in a different state than it was a year ago. And so unfortunately, we're looking at things like, let's just get a bunch of people into a Zoom account and then, it'll be a membership where they're just, paying to show up. Unfortunately, $15 just isn't enough of a pull for someone to continue to show up. And unfortunately, again, it's not enough money to make you go, I am making it as a yoga teacher. I am doing this thing. Like, where's the money? And you're probably feeling this too of like, I'm just so sick of running $15 to $30 Zoom classes and having 3 people show up, and it just isn't making ends meet. And the last one here is spending so much time on creating a membership site. I hear this almost daily of, I just want to create a membership site, put it on automation, and never work a day in my life. If that were true, if that were something that were super easy, everyone would be doing it. I promise you. And unfortunately, what happens on the side of creating membership sites is that there is so much customer service that is needed. There's a lot of troubleshooting. When you look at automation, there's an entire tech side that has to come into this too. And it's a lot of output before you actually get any input from people that are coming through. So think of it this way. If it's hard to get people on a $15 Zoom class, it's sure going to be hard to get people to stay on for a $15 membership. So that being said, we got through those, those myths, and we've debunked a lot of the things that you might be seeing online right now. Some of your other fellow yogi friends might be doing this and you're thinking, maybe I should do this too. I'm going to urge you to stay in the lane of abundance with me. Stay in the lane of creating true wealth. And what I'm also going to share with you is creating predictable wealth. Okay? This gets to be so exciting, and I'm so excited to go through this process with you. So if you have your pen and paper handy right now, I really want you to jump into these objections that I often hear with yoga teachers. And you might be saying this to yourself too. So you're thinking, yeah, but if it's a low price offer, it's a no-brainer for my clients, right? If it's a low price offer, it's going to be so much easier to sell. If it's cheap, and I should say, if my clients are, you can say this, my clients are oftentimes cheap or money savvy. They don't have $1,000 laying around, right? They're never going to invest in something like this. That's such an absurd number. How could we ever charge someone $1,000? You could say things like, I'm scared to price myself too high. I don't want to repel clients away. I don't want to be that person that's like way overcharging in an industry that's like $15. They'll think I'm crazy for charging $1,000. They'll think I'm cuckoo, and who's going to sign up? That's such a big stretch. And the big one is, I just want to price my offers so small that they sell for themselves and they work on automation, just like we talked about. So what I want to bring you to is the reality of what this looks like. The reality. Take that pen and paper and write this down. If you desire right now, well, let me back that up. What do you desire per month in your business? How much would you like to be earning per month? Write that number down. Oftentimes I hear anything from 2 to 5 to 10K per month. These are absolutely doable numbers. But when we start to look at, let's say, a $15 program, a really low price program for 2K, we're looking at about 133 people per month. Now, if you look at the normal set point of launching a program, or you're launching a membership site around $15, do you know how you've noticed how hard it is to get someone in at $15? You've noticed that it's kind of a struggle to get people in, and you're showing up and you're talking about it on social media, and you're like, why isn't this a no-brainer for people? Why aren't more and more people just grabbing on to the $15 offer and like jumping in? This is such an easy way to bring them in, right? And unfortunately, it's just, there isn't enough of the the result for them to dive in. There's not enough on their end to make them go, holy crap, for $15, I need to be in this. Like, this is a make it or break it for me. This is my edge. This is the edge I've been waiting for. Most likely not. So what we have to think about is pricing yourself much higher, delivering incredible value so that there's an equal exchange of energy. So let's say you've put $2,000 on your page or your piece of paper. That's 133 people. Let's say you said 5,000 people. We're looking at 333 people. Maybe you have a 10K goal per month. That's 667 people. Now, if you're a one-woman show, which most of you are that are watching this, you maybe don't have a team or a VA yet. If you're a one-woman show and you have to serve 133 people in your membership, and you're assuming that they aren't going to have questions and they aren't going to, be like, hey, can you just refund me? I didn't get any value out of this, or, great ebook, but I can't download it. All these things, all these technology nightmares pop up. So what if, let me position this for you. What if you could work with 2 people and earn 2K per month, and you could help them get through their finish line so much quicker, collapsing time for them? Wouldn't you feel so much more abundant and aligned and like a true leader that you are? Wouldn't you feel like, holy cow, I've served 2 people this month and that was 2K. What if I served 10? That's a 10K month. Doesn't that feel like an equal exchange? And if you're available to them and helping them move through any of the blocks that they're encountering in your unique way, isn't that incredible? So this is what we have in store. We have in store how to get to the mindset of being locked in at this space and really downloading the code and the formula and everything that is required along the way of unveiling this. So the very first piece is niche. And we have to start to think about, what is your secret sauce? What is your it factor? What is that thing that people are just like, man, I love tuning into her content. It feels like she's speaking directly to me. And this is exactly what you want. You want your clients, your potential clients that are out there on social media to go, that post that you put out there today, that did something for me. That spoke to my heart. That made me go, holy cow, that's me. You are like in my head right now. And that's what we want, is we want to work with clients like that. We want to work with people that are like so lit up by the content that you're creating that they cannot wait to get in your world. And $1,000 isn't a lot to them when they get the results that you have to offer. So how do we do this? How do we cultivate this? So I really want to bring it into the last time that you made a big investment in yourself. Let's think back to your YTT. How did that moment feel? Were you like, freedom, freedom is on its way. This new life is on its way. This, your ability to heal people, your ability to help people, your ability to transform people's lives. I know you felt this because I felt it in my YTT too. Like, I just am so excited to see these doors open. And most yoga teacher trainings are anywhere from $1,500 to like $4K. So depending on whatever it costs for you to invest in yourself, you made a big leap. You made an investment in yourself, and maybe you've taken courses and programs along the way for mind, body, spirit, whatever that looks like for you. And you've learned some very valuable lessons along the way. And think back to the pure excitement that you had. Now think about the commitment that was required in that excitement. Think about how much more committed you were to going through your YTT and running through that finish line and to becoming a yoga teacher and holding that certification in your hand. You already saw it. You already saw the result prior to you joining. You knew what you were going to go through. You're like, this might be hard, might be challenging. I see that there's milestones along the way that I have to go through and achieve. But when I'm done, I'm going to be a certified yoga teacher, and literally the world can open up for you. This is exactly what you want to invoke in your clients, is that there is a result at the end of you two working together, and there are specific milestones that you are going to cross. And when they're at the beginning set point, your job is to make them go, oh my gosh, this is so clear where I'm going. I know that's the result that I'm going to. She's going to hold my hand through this entire process. She's going to coach and mentor me. We're going to go through these milestones. I know the result and I know how clear it's going to be to get there. Granted, there could be ups and downs along the way. This is where your mentorship and your level of coaching is going to help them level out and bring them through and get them through that personal finish line. So think about this right now. What process have you been through? Think about your YTT, think about your mindset, think about transformations in your life. Go back to that moment in your life. And you know the one, everyone has a moment where there was the fork in the road, where things changed, where it was just like, wow, I am so thankful that I went through that transformation, because now here I am today and I know X, Y, Z, and I can look back and hindsight is 2020. Start to think about this. Start to think about what you have been through in your life, and think about the times you've made big investments in yourself and how it felt. Oftentimes when clients come into my world, whether to be coached by me one-on-one or to run through any one of my programs, is that they see the light at the end of the tunnel. They know where they're going. And there's something about my energy and the way that I coach and the way that I just love up on my clients that they're like, I want her to bring me through this journey. I want her to help me through this process because she's been where I am and I want to be where she is at. And that's what your clients are saying too. I want to be where she is at. So I want you to think about this for yourself. Let's really slip into niching down. So first and foremost, are you ready? Are you ready? Let's bring the energy up. So 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? Let's dive in. We're going to talk specifically about niche. And if you've got that pen and paper handy, let's start talking about really branding yourself. Okay. So your brand, this is going to be a funky one, but hear me out. Your brand is you, right? And your brand should naturally do 2 things. Your brand should attract and repel at the same time. What? You're like, no, I just want my brand to attract. I want people to like me. I want people to get me. What you really want is to be so clear to your client that they naturally attract to your world. And what you also want to be so clear to someone who isn't your client that they naturally repel from your world. And when you do this right, and you'll see there's certain people that you follow on social media right now that you're like, I really love what this person is saying. I love what they're doing. I'm picking up on their vibe. I get something from their content every time I read it or watch or, download whatever they're doing, right? So there's a natural pull that you get pulled into based on their attraction energy. There's other people in line that you're like, I can't stand this person. Like, nope, I can't do this. Mute, right? Like unfollow, whatever that looks like. So you know the feeling of attraction and repelling. When a brand is done extremely well, you will automatically do both of them. So this is where your client will say, I am the perfect fit for her, or not so much. Your job as someone who is holding space for another person is to have high intention and low attachment. HILA, HILA. Write that baby down. It's a great little nugget. High attention, low attachment. Intention. Hopefully I said that right. High intention, low attachment. So if someone comes into your world and they send you a DM and they're like, oh my gosh, I just love everything that you're talking about. This is so great. And let's say you get on a discovery call with them to book them at that 1K price and everything feels really good. It is so powerful for you to practice HILA, high intention. So you're like, yes, hey, you want to be in my world? This is so awesome. Let's talk about it. Here's the services that I provide. Here's where you are. And then we practice low attachment. If it's not a fit for them, we graciously let them go. This is why if you've ever been on the phone with me for either one-on-one coaching, or if you are wanting to do one of my programs, especially YBA, if you're on the phone with me and you're like, I really want to do this thing and it feels so good, I'm holding you in the highest light, but at the end of the day, this is your decision. I never push people. I never close hard, like all of these things that are so icky, gross, and with sales, not part of my world, you know? So I hold you in the highest intention, but the lowest attachment. I am unattached to the outcome of your decision. If you want to be in my world and you feel that full body, by all means, I am ready to run with you. And so that's what I pass on to you is HILA, high intention, low attachment. Create this in your life and you will see a natural pull with your clients, especially when you get on the phone with them. So let's see if you can pass the niche test, shall we? So a niche is something that people, they struggle with. It's hard to really grasp. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is just, I don't want to niche myself down. What if I get sick of being in this niche? What if this just doesn't light me up in 6 months from now? Well, the good news is this: you are allowed to pivot at any point in your business. And what I caution my clients is to do is give yourself 1 year. Give yourself 1 full year to see if you want to pivot. Because by the time that you have been speaking and talking about and giving posts on and doing maybe a free class here and there, or you're creating offers and you're creating your coaching program, or you're creating your signature program, whatever that looks like, you're pulling all of this together. If you give yourself a year, it's like a lighthouse. You become a lighthouse for your offer. People naturally get to come into your world and see what it is that you have to offer because it is so clear, because you've been talking about it for 365 days. And so often, if you're pivoting so many times in your business, there isn't time for your clients to grow alongside of you. There isn't time for that person that was just about to invest in you to make that full commitment because you've already pivoted again. And I say this to you because early on in my business, I did this too. I got the squirrel syndrome of like, what about this? Or what about that? What about a membership? What about a course? What about a podcast? Right? And we create so much work for ourselves when the work isn't needed. The alignment is needed. So through this niching process, I want you to take this quick little self-assessment. And if you can, if you're watching me on a laptop or on a cell phone or vice versa, go to your social media page right now. Scroll through your last post. In 30 seconds of you scrolling through, is it clear that you have an offer for sale, the type of client that you serve, and that you are open for business? If you do not check any of those boxes, it's time to open up the business. It's time to get very clear on who it is that you serve, writing posts for them, creating content for them, showing that you're open for business. And so important with social media is that you use it as your prime real estate. If you are sharing, unfortunately, we're in this world that's very politically hyped right now, and you might feel like you want to chime in. But if we're sharing constant political posts and, Buddha bowls and green juice and all of these things that might not be relevant to your offer or your business, it's clouding your potential for profit. Every single time that you share content that isn't about your business, if you're in the business to use social media as your platform to grow, if you're sharing all this other stuff all the time, it's muddy and it's unclear. So make this promise to yourself. If you're committed to using social media for your business, make it clear. Make content for your clients, your ideal client, and open up your store for business. Open it up, babe. And you might already have created an offer and you're putting it out there, and that's fabulous. Do people know that it is available? I have a golden rule that at least every 7th post that you create, there's one call to action. Okay, that's a good writer downer. Writer downer. That at least you're giving one call to action. This could be getting on a wait list for your signature program. This could be reach out to me if you're interested in working one-on-one, etc. Okay, so start to get in the formula of that. Start to get in the workings of that. Another really cool niche test that my coach actually taught me that I thought was just so bomb diggity that I want to share with you too is, does your ideal client pass the shopping mall test? So what this means is if you were to go to the shopping mall today, can you see your ideal client? Do this in your mind's eye. Can you see your ideal client? Do you know what they look like, they dress like, how they're standing, maybe the purse that they own or the clothes that they wearing, are they really clear to you? What type of stores are they shopping at? Where are they going? Here's what I can tell you about you being here, my ideal client, is that if I were to go to a shopping mall today, let's say head over to the shopping mall, it's down the street here. It's this beautiful, it's a pretty high-end place, but they have like these little nooks and crannies that are just like these bohemian little sanctuaries that you can sit in. But where I would picture you and your higher self to hang out are places like Free People, Anthropologie, um, any of like the cute little boutique places, perhaps having a green juice or an acai bowl. There's also a place called People's Organic. I mean, this is where I picture you, because here's the reality of your ideal client. Your ideal client is you in the past. You're like, whoa, okay, all right, now we're cooking. I'm starting to get this. Your ideal client is you in the past. Now, there's other niches that look at extra things like, maybe you're going for a certain demographic, or you're going for career choice or something like that. But here's the real meat of your niche, and where, if you're struggling to get started right now, where your niche really is. Your niche is just you in the past. So when I was in corporate America, I would go to that mall and I'd go into Free People and I'd go into Anthropologie and I'd go into Lululemon. I'd get my $8 smoothie, and I was still in corporate America, but there was part of me that was like desiring the freedom and the full-time freedom of being an entrepreneur and being a business coach and helping women with their brands and all the things, right? So I'd bring my laptop there and I'd sit in those spaces and I'd feel what it would feel like if I could walk into Free People and just drop $200. Now I do that in a blink of an eye today because it's my new reality. So start to think about who were you in the past? Who is your 10 steps behind? And by doing those actions of like where you are today and showing them on social media, you'll naturally attract who you were in the past. And what's amazing about this, about attracting the people that you were in the past, is you start to see yourself in the past and you're like, oh my gosh, all you have to do is go here, and then do this thing. And then your result is right over there. You're closer than you know. So if you could coach yourself in the past and you could say, all right, this type of yoga is going to be so fundamental for the anxiety or the stress that you're going through. We're just using this as an example. If you could just do this one thing, maybe, a couple times a week, try these personal development books. I'm here to help coach and mentor you through this process, but you're closer than you think. You're almost at the finish line. I'm going to help you get there. So start to think about this. Start to think about your process. This is going to be so much clearer when we dive into creating your signature program, when we look at step 2. But here are some questions for you to start thinking of. I'm going to rapid fire these so you can take your time. You can pause the video in between and do some journaling. But I want to ask you these couple of questions to help you dig further on who your niche is. Again, this is you in the past, but getting laser focused, put on those, racehorse blinders, get really focused on this one person, because this part is the most profitable piece of your business. This is the most fundamental and foundational piece to creating absolute wealth in your business. Okay. So your niche is you in the past. So who were you 10 steps ago prior to your transformation? Who were you 10 steps ago prior to your transformation? Next is, what do you know about specific things when it comes to mindset, to energy, to spirituality, to wellness, to health? This is going to be unique to every individual listening. What do you know about certain topics that you keep naturally gravitating towards? What do you know? What do you know that you're always grabbing more information on? You just can't get enough. You're a freaking expert on whatever it is that you keep diving into. Again, mindset, health, spirituality, wellness. There's yoga and this realm of like mind body connection, like those little facets of coaching blend so powerfully together. So I want you to know that. So do you have any old journals? Do you have any old journals lying around, or maybe like some old word documents on your computer that you can go look back to the woman that you previously were and the things that you were going through and the headspace that you were in? If you have them, go look at them, go pull it out and start to get this down. What were you Googling online? What were the things that you were like, I want to know so much more about this certain topic, or I want to overcome this obstacle that I'm experiencing? What were you Googling? Who were the people that you were following? What were you pinning on social media or on Pinterest? What were the pins that were inspiring you at the time? Who inspired you online to take action through your transformation? There's so much proof in the gurus that you're following, especially in the past. A big one of mine, might be of yours too, was Gabby Bernstein. I love me some Gabby Bernstein. I'm a graduate of her Spirit Junkie Masterclass. And I through the years, I read her books, I did her meditations, all of the things. And now I'm a totally different person today. But Gabby was a big part of this transformation. And what I infuse into my programs are lessons that I have learned from her, both mindset, meditation, energy, all the things. So who is that for you? Lastly, we have three more actually. What steps did you take? What steps did you take to get to the transformation that you're at today? How did you overcome a certain obstacle? And what is your transformation story? So if you went through this part really quickly and you didn't write any notes, I want you to pause right now. Go back and listen to them. Just start writing some notes out. Get really clear on your niche. Again, this is a really powerful piece in your business. This is where the profit starts to make sense. This is where you step into a role where you can absolutely charge $1,000 minimum for your time. You got to get clear right here. Okay, so let's take a look. So I want to walk you through this next level. This is a little impromptu, but I think you can handle this. Do you ready? So now that you are getting clear on who your niche is, this is you in the past. This is getting really clear on the woman that 2020, the hindsight is 2020, what she's gone through, the steps that she's taken, the milestones that she had to go through to where she is today. I hope this starts clicking for you on what exactly you can start to help people with, who exactly that ideal client is. So this is where you want to write down some really powerful pieces, because I want you to take so much action on this today. I hope if you follow what is in here over the next, let's say 2 weeks, and you really step into this 1K minimum, you can absolutely be at a point where you can start charging that price. And you will feel so much better. I promise you. You're going to just feel so much more lit up over business and receiving. Okay, so you ready? You got that pen and paper? So I'm going to give you 6 ways to write content for this specific niche. Okay, so now that you've gotten clear, we have to take action. We've done the feminine piece of business, which is going inward and listening and self-assessing and like working out the kinks and really bringing out, okay, this is the type of person I want to work with, and these are the results that I provide them. So now we want to start writing content for them, right? So I'm going to rapid fire these 6 pieces for you, okay? So the first one, how do we write content for them? How do we start drawing in our ideal client? The first piece is education. So number 1 is education. How can you educate this ideal client in a step-by-step fashion? Okay, get the wheels turning. How can I educate them? How can I share content that educates them? Number 2, inspire. Being an inspiration. How can you inspire them? So I want you to highlight, if you have past clients that you've worked with that have loved the way that you have mentored them through yoga, through coaching, what exactly was their outcome? If you don't have any clients as of yet that you've worked with in this capacity, how can you inspire them to get to where you are today? Is it showing behind the scenes of your life? Is it sharing a story of where you used to be to where you are today so that your ideal client can self-identify? Number 2 was that, how can you inspire them? Number 3 is, how can you convert them? Again, the golden rule, you should be pitching at least once every 7 posts. So How can you convert them? Are you open for business? If you're not open for business, open the doors for business. Get going. If you have questions and you need support on this, I have a whole program YBA developed, created specifically for this so that you can get the ball rolling and you can take the steps necessary. Number 4 is personal stories. It's exactly what it sounds like. Share your personal story. Share your moments of overcoming hardship, your times where you were stuck, ways to get unstuck, right? You can absolutely, go into some vulnerable pieces if you're willing to go there. Vulnerability is such a beautiful thing. And when my clients are sharing their vulnerable stories, does their world open up. And there are people like, I've been following you for years. I've been following you for a week. And this story spoke so much to me. Thank you so much for sharing it. You have no idea, how much I needed that. Right. So last is tips and tools. What are your best tips and tools? Maybe it's self-development books. Maybe it's a certain form of yoga that's really a great tool for you to help combat whatever it is the result that you have to offer your clients. So let's run through them again. We've got 1, educate, 2, inspire, 3, convert, 4, personal stories, and 5 is your tips and tools. So there's actually 5. Sorry, I said 6 at the beginning, but there's 5. So those are your 5 pillars. Get started today. Get started on sharing your content today. Now that you've dove into really who your ideal client is, you've got to pass those 2 tests, right? 1 is a 30-second test. Are you open for business? Do people understand what you have to offer? Is the outward expression of you super clear in the results that you have to provide? If yes, game on. Create some call to action. Start working with people one-on-one, or if you already have a group program that you're selling, maybe at that 1K mark. Again, if you need help with this and you need more of a roadmap, maybe this is just scratching the surface for you. Maybe you're a guru at all of it. I'm not sure. Wherever you're at right now, if you need support, I'm here for you. This is why I created the Yoga Business Ascension. Yoga Business Ascension, at the time of this recording, may or may not be open. I highly recommend that you get on the wait list for it. I take a small cohort of women through a 90-day business transformation. Believe it or not, we've only scratched the surface of how incredible this process is. And if you need more of the support, like link arms with me and link arms with the community and get that one-on-one support and get the step-by-step process and the formulas and all, like the script files and everything. If you are the kind of person that needs that and just needs someone to bring you step by step, that's what it's created for. YBA, Yoga Business Ascension. I'll pop a link below this video so you can grab the wait list and you can hang out on there. And thank you for being here through niching down. This was a lot of mindset. This was a lot of going inward and doing those journal prompts. And then you got to pass the shopping mall test too. So when you go to the shopping mall, can you see your client? Do you know the stores they're going to? Do you know the behaviors? This is you in the past. So start to really think about, who were you 10 steps ago prior to your transformation? I will see you in lesson number 2, where we create your signature offer. I'll see you over there. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day.